So what I can do is I guess put the recordings on the platform. Yeah, I'll try and do that this afternoon so you guys can have them. And so we left off, Daviana had a question. I think almost everybody's here. Daviana, ask me your question again in the chat. Let me show the chat.
Okay, so my question was that for the annuity formula, we start with using the first cash flow of the first year, due at the first year.
Yeah,
Not the ones due at year 0. Is that correct?
that's correct. Yes, very good. Let me share my screen. Why is it looking weird? Very strange. Do you see my screen right now?
No, there isn't anything in the monitor.
What in the world? Start share. I don't know. Everybody did an update today, it seems. Okay, so I'm going to put up. Okay, well, oh, this can work. Try my. Oh, you see that? Oh, that's great. That's my iPad hooked up.
Yeah.
And you see
No,
my
I can see.
messy. So you just see the iPad in the screen?
Yes, the whiteboard.
The whiteboard. Okay, so this is good. Do you guys see the cursor right now? Or no? You don't see the cursor? You don't see the arrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's there. We can see it.
You see my arrow going around in circles?
Yes.
Oh. Anyway, okay. All right, so what I was saying here before we got interrupted is, oh, another way to see this would be do this. Now, you don't have to write this every time to make it look exactly like the timeline on the formula sheet, but you should be able to mentally see this. So it could be confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in my discussions about the formula, I explain from the growing annuity, from the formula sheet. Let me get the formula sheet just so we're remembering the same thing. This is the formula sheet that I share with you. So when we meet next week in the classroom, I think I'm going to stick with the computer and my iPad on the screen in the classroom, because now I'm used to this. So but I'll be there, we'll be in person, and I can broadcast it this way, and then if you don't want to come in person, you can just attend virtual. Is that okay? So you don't have to be there next week. The only thing you have to be there for is the test. All right, so remember this formula sheet. And the one that is the growing annuity is this one down here. Right, the one at the bottom. So I want my formula to look like, well, I want my timeline to look like this timeline. So C1 is the first one. And then the thing beside the C1 is 1 plus G. So that's what tells me that the G is 2, or like 2%. And then dot, dot, dot till the end. Notice it's a 5 here, not a 6, which corresponds to this being 1 less than this one here. So the way I've done it now, it looks exactly like the timeline that matches the formula that we're going to use. So if your timeline can't match up, you can't use the formula as is. You have to adjust it somehow. Do you see what I did there? Trying to basically take problems and try to match them. It's all about patterns, pattern recognition, and applying this formula requires you have this pattern. And certainly I is not equal to G, because the nominal rate of interest is 8 and the G is 2. So we can apply the formula. All right, so when you see this, when you see it this way, you should in your mind realize, okay, the first one is 1020, and the G that keeps on, the factor, the accumulation factor, the growth factor is with 2%. So did I answer the original question, like what's going on or what's important here? What are you trying to do? So what you're trying to do is get the same answer, but doing it with the nominal amounts and the nominal rate. So I converted everything. Because I converted everything, I had to use a different formula, and I still get the same answer.
Professor, I have a question.
Sure.
How do you know which is a nominal rate and which is a real rate? Will that always be mentioned as
Yeah, no. Assume everything is nominal. If I tell you it's real, then it's real. But you assume everything is nominal. This is the only place, this kind of a problem, where I differentiate and I say this one's nominal, that's real. But in general, just assume everything is nominal. Most people communicate in nominal rates. This issue only comes up about real in economics when we try and understand the effect of inflation, and we try and dissect or separate, tease apart the two effects. So it's okay. So is that a good answer for you? So everything is nominal unless I tell you something is real. And you'll always have the defense that I said that to you. Okay, so for the exam, all I want to see is this. And you know what? I'd like to see the timeline too. I like to see your timeline, because if you mess up, I can see what you did wrong and maybe give you some credit, right? So how you should be practicing is repeating these problems and being comfortable with these problems. The beauty for me, of putting you in the classroom is that I can ask you kind of easy problems. I don't have to be so creative. and just let you prove to me you know how to do the basic problems. When I have to teach distance, I have to give more complex problems because the students have everything. It's open book. The tests are harder. The tests are harder. Okay, so this is not going to be so hard if you know everything I've shown you. I might just change some numbers here and there. And like I say, like I committed, the first test, you can bring the package of calculator instructions. Okay, you want to see tests now? Keeping in mind that it's a little bit more challenging than you will get. Oh, let me stop share for a second. All right. I didn't finish that handout, but the second part of the handout, watch the video and spend some time there. I do the same sort of thing, but I do it in reverse. I start with the nominal cash flows and I make them real. And that's interesting. That's another thing. It's not a repetition. I guess. I think I actually have to put a test in here. Okay, you know what? Let's take 5-minute break. Let's come back at 10:45. Okay, so I'm gonna find that and you guys can get a bathroom break or some water. Okay, so let's come back. At 10:45. I say 5 minutes, but it's a little more.
Okay.
All right, so in the platform, I opened up unit 2, which is continuation, and I mentioned all these chapters, but that's just, again, those are reference, right? We're really focused on chapters on time value of money. This is part of time value of money. Sorry, let me show you the student view because that's all those are my tests on there. So the student view, you should see this. So these are the additional documents. And it's the same sort of problems, but with interest rate conversion. So you really need to focus on that for the next 2 weeks. And I want to start here with review 1. I don't have any tests on here. I want to show you a test. Okay, so we're going to start on review 1, but I want to show you a test, which is pretty much like review 1. All right, so this is the example of the test that I did. Sharing again. So what I say, I will grade. Oh, okay. So this was when I taught virtual, and it was in the summer, so I only had 3 weeks and no time to grade anything. But okay, so what the test says is solve all 7 problems on separate pages. So I didn't have choice on this one. But you see, they are some multiple choice, some written. I think it's better to show you what I did last year. I'm going to show you what I did last year because this is too long ago. I'm always changing. Okay, I found it with the answers. But I didn't have too much choice last year either. But okay, I'll just show you what it looks like. So funny because it's just going to be different because we're going to be in person. So I imagine that I'll have some options, but so in this exam, it was answer all questions and with some instructions, and they were multiple choice. And I didn't have that many. I just had 6 problems and then a long answer problem. So that's all it was, but they were hard. I gave hard problems because they had all their notes and I gave them the weekend to work on it. So it's completely different. In your case, I expect you to finish the test in 2 hours, and I'll probably give like 15 problems with some choice. So you don't have to answer all of them, something like that. Okay, so if that clears things up. It's just different. I haven't had an in-class test for like 6 years in this course. So, because I didn't teach it for a few years. And then as soon as I started teaching it, it became virtual and I had a different system. So that's what I think I'm going to do is have like 10 to, what did I say? 10 to 15 questions, or I said 15 questions with some choice. So you don't have to answer all of them. Okay. And you have 2 hours. So let's look at a review, the review exercises here together. And let's see how we do. So this is, so let's see how we do. So why don't you try the first one? And, and then we'll talk about it. I'll give you a few minutes to attempt the first one. So what I'm doing is the same sort of problems from unit 1, but I'm going to integrate the interest rate conversion. So you need to take time to review all of that. So doing these problems, I'll take some time to review that with you as well. It's called review 1. Keep in mind, most of this you should have learned in 3106. Okay, so it to me it's like a review, but some of you will need the review and it'll feel like the first time. Okay, I'm going to share my iPad. Oh, I think I'm going to do it the other way. Not by projection. I'm going to do it by doing it this way. So it doesn't have a lag. Okay. The only thing is that you guys see all the edges. I don't know how to suppress that. Okay, so how do I do this problem? This is my timeline, and we're going to deposit 150,000. So that's like your present value amount. And it's going to be invested or loaned for 20 years, but the first 10 years, the interest rate is 15%, and then it's 8%. So you're going to see that it's 150 for 10 years. And then from here, it grows at 8% for 10. And that's the answer. And you need to plug that in. So this is the future value at 20. So I've modified the formula. I could have summarized this amount and put that here, but I don't have to. This could be called PV10. And this is 1.08, another 10, and then FV20. I mean, you could write that. You don't have to. Okay, as long as you show me a timeline and your calculations, I'm happy. I want to see your formulas. If it's a variation on the formulas I give you on the formula sheet and it's correct, it's fine. So you can use your calculator functions or time value of money functions. I forgot to put the 1,000 in, 150,000. Let me do that better.
Professor, at the 20th year, I got 1,310,108 with 36 cents. What I just did was calculate 15% for 10 periods, and then that amount, sort of like in the FB20, just put that amount and run it through the calculator with an 8% for 10 years.
Yeah. So you could do very good. So you can go 150. You can use the finance keys or just the regular math keys, right? But if I did 150 as my present value, no payments, and 15% for 10 years and ask for FV, compute FV, that's not what you got, right? What did I do? It was 10 years, 15%, 150, 0, and compute FV. Okay, so that's the first 10 years. Did you get that?
Yes, that's at the 10th year.
Okay, that's the 10th year. So then you can store that. So I'm going to hit store 1, but I'm going to turn it into a positive. So store 1 doesn't really matter. Just, I don't want to get confused with the positive and negative, and then start over. And I can make that the PV. So recall 1 PV. And then I put the years in. So it's another 10. Now at 8% and no payments, and compute FV, and there's your answer, right? So I could do it that way, or I could do it mathematically using the exponent key.
Professor, how do you use the store key?
All right, so use the store key. So I do show you in the videos, but I will show you. So to use the store key, there are 10 storage slots, and the way you activate them is if you have like 1, 2, 3, let's say the number I want to put in, you hit store. So you put the number, you put store, and you tell which place you want to put it in. You want to store it in store 0. That's actually a storage slot. So then when you want to see it, I cleared the screen. Now I want to see it, recall 0, it's there. So let me repeat the whole problem that I did with the storage keys again. So I'm going to put 150,000. No, I'm going to start from left to right. So it's 10 years at 15% for $150,000. No payments, compute FE. So this is at year 10. Now I want to store it, but I want to store it as a positive because it can get confusing. So I'm going to make that a positive and store it in 1, because storing it in 0 just feels weird, but you can store it in 0, you can store it in 1, you can store it in 2, all the way to 9. You should write on a piece of paper where you stored things, okay? And I do that in my instructions. So then it's stored. Now I want to go again through the keys from left to right, 10 for the years. Now it's going to be an 8% return. And the present value amount is in recall 1. So I put that in PV. And I put 0 in payment. And that's it. I'm going to ask for FV, and there's my answer.
Professor,
So, yes.
I tried to do that exactly in the HP 10 B2 plus.
Yeah.
But I did not, the result was negative 169,800,000.
Okay, so on the HP, is there anything on the top of the screen that says begin or BGN or anything like that? You might have it in. Did you use this calculator before? Or this is the first time?
The HP.
Yeah.
Well, I have used it before. but not that very much.
Okay, and you have the notes from the website?
Yeah,
Okay, for the HP, you got them from the Moodle platform?
yeah.
Okay, so it is weird that you got that. Oh, you know what? I have an HP here. Let me see if I can get the HP. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to see if I can bring it on my iPad. And we can do it together, okay? You're going to have to remind me because I don't remember how to use HP, but I think it's the same for the TBM keys.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
The result is different.
And I'll tell you something that it's very, very, very rare, but I have in my 20 years seen about 2 calculators that were just dysfunctional. So I'm not going to say yours has that problem, but okay, HP 10B2. Okay, I have one. Yeah, programmed. Okay. So for other people, I said, let me see, where is it? All right, it's on the very top row, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try it together for other people. Patience, please. Oh, what happened? Okay, there. So that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so N, so do I press the number first?
Yeah, that's what you press the number and then you press the.
Oh, it has sound effects. Okay, let me clear TVM first. Well, anyway, I'll overwrite all the numbers. That way I don't have to deal with it, but there's a purple second clear TVM. Oh, what's that? I don't know what happened. All right. You see, I don't remember this calculator and I don't think I downloaded it before. So anyway, everything looks good. It says end at the top. That means payments are at the end of the period. That's good. It says P by YR is 1. You should say 1. Does it say 1?
No, there's
What is-
nothing on the top.
Oh, you don't have anything? Okay,
Hmm.
to check. Okay, there's nothing on top is good. Oh, look. Oh, it's different. I can touch it. All right, you want to be end. Basically, it shouldn't say begin. Usually it shows begin. End is a default. All right, so let's just try to enter these numbers. N is 10. Sorry for the thing. Let me see if I can turn that off. Sound. All right. I don't mind the clicking, but it kind of get annoying. 10. Interest is 15. PB is 150. 0 in payment. And then compute FV. Do I just hit FV?
Yeah,
Okay, so that worked.
I don't get it.
You didn't get that?
No.
Wow. There must be some setting. It must be P by Y. So what you have to do is check P by Y. Hit the orange key and P by Y. No, that didn't work. Orange. What's the green? Oh, I guess it's just showing. Oh, maybe here. No. Second P by. It must be the P by Y. It might be compounding. So what number did you get for the first 10 years?
169,840 with 62 cents.
Yeah, you're probably, it's your P by Y. It needs to be 1. So find out how you can fix P by Y to be 1, because what it's doing is compounding once a year if you have 1. If you have 12, it's compounding 12 times a year. That's why it's so big.
Okay, I put P by 1. Okay, it says 12, so I have to put 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is.
I don't know how to activate it. All right, let's get back to work on that. I'm sure that's the problem. Anybody else have questions? Let me know though.
Nope, still the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. Can you share? Oh no, you don't have it on your phone. You just have it on
Yeah, I have it on my hand.
you have it in your hand. Can you take a picture of it and send it to me?
Yeah.
Take a picture of it to show me what it looks like. Or video. Can you make a video of what you're doing and send it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, so do that. And while I go on to the next part. All right, so I never did put the number up. The number is 1310108. $0.36. Now I'm not going to be so crazy about the decimal places, but if you keep making the wrong decimal places, I will penalize you. If you keep solving and getting the wrong decimal place, you should have the cents rounded properly. For my videos, if you find they're too long to review, okay, I'm going to put the timestamps in. I'm going to try and do that today. So then you can go through them in the areas that you really need review. But you can speed up the time on them. And get through them faster. Daviana, was that you asking about the calculator? Who was it I was just talking to? I'm sorry, you have to say your names to learn your voices.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, so now I know your voice. Very good. So 606-833-66 is the other one. So this is the kind of thing that I do. You could write it like this. You can write it like this. This looks more like the time value of money formula, so it's not like I taught you something new. I'm just using the time value of money formula twice. Okay, let's go to the next one. Well, Daviana sends me that video. Let's try. Okay, we're going to try number 2. Might as well stick with the order. Okay, starting 1 quarter from now, Lydia will begin to deposit $1,000 at the end of each quarter into an account to save for her retirement. She will do this for the next 30 years. How much will Lydia have accumulated? Okay, so what is the main thing here? What is the how do I deal with quarters or what is my focus? What is the word I'm looking for? What do I look for first? I look for the timing of the payments. That's the most important thing. That's why I have it underlined. Okay. Starting 1 quarter from now, it's not that it's the starting part, but the quarter is the most important, that it's going to be that payments are going to occur quarterly. So this first step, and I encourage you in the videos, is to identify the timing of payments and convert all variables to the same interval. So the timing of payments, that's step 1. And then I don't get into step 2, 3 too much. I mean, I do it for a while, but the main thing is step 1. I'm just saying, because sometimes there's 2 steps, sometimes there's 3 steps. The main thing though is step 1, identifying, and it's consistent through all the problems, identify the timing of payments and convert all variables. So what am I talking about? There is going to be $1,000 deposited at the end of each quarter into an account to save for retirement. She'll do this for the next 30 years.
So would it be 4,000 for each year?
No, it's 1,000 for each quarter. So it's not 4,000 each year because of time value of money and the interest rate. Okay, so what we have to do, so thank you for answering the question. So what we have to do is convert everything. We're going to start with, okay, so the payments are quarterly of 1,000. So we need the rate to be quarterly. What is the rate though? Let's read. It's an annual effective rate of interest. So what does that mean? That means that it's 5% in the year. So it's 5% over the whole year. So every dollar becomes $1.05 after the year. I need to convert that into quarters. So what I have to do I need to find out the equivalent rate in the quarter that will compound to make 5% over the year. That's what I have to figure out. So I need to find out this, and I give it a name. Actually, I'm going to give it the name here. So you need to find the effective period rate over the quarter. Some people don't like symbols, but they're supposed to be helpful. If they don't help you, just write it in words. Effective period rate over a quarter. So a quarter is 3 months, right? So if there's a quarterly rate in here, just like I was working with the inflation, it's like in here, but this is actually the rate. And if that bothers you because it's so big, just call it I, okay? So this is just going to be the I, but it's the quarterly rate. But I'm going to use the symbol because it can get confusing because there's a lot of I's everywhere. So the I must be quarterly. The interest rate must be quarterly. So what this means is 4 of these, 4 quarters, compounded factors, right? I mean, accumulation of 4 of these should make one effective annual rate. So the effective annual rate you're told was 5%. So 1.05 should be equal to the number I'm looking for plus 1 to the power of 4. So you just have to solve this expression. If you have to do that every time to solve a problem, do it every time. Some students just memorize the formulas or they learn the formula for this, but basically this is the interest rate conversion you need to do. So this is going from effective rates to effective rates. We're going from an effective annual rate to like a partial rate, quarter rate. And it's not so hard because it's just 4 small ones. These are the small ones. Compounded make one big one. So let's do the math and find it. And you would have done this before. Maybe the formula looks different, but it's the same idea. You're going to partition the 5% into 4 quarters in the exponents. You don't divide. Okay, so it's not going to be the $1,000. It's not going to be $4,000 or what, I don't know what, $4,000 a year. That's not what we're going to deal with. It gets affected by the fact that we're compounding. Okay. It's going to be slightly different. If you just want to talk about approximations, yeah, it's about $4,000 a year, but in fact, it's going to be a different number. So this is the effective quarterly rate. So someone get me oh, how do I put this in my calculator? Let me show you. All right, so I'm going to show you how to convert in the calculator. In fact, the calculator, well, I won't talk about that right now. I was going to mention something else, but we're doing effective rates converting to effective rates with this formula here, derived from this concept. So to do this in the calculator, I enter, and you can do this on the HP as well, or on the other ones, 1.05 to the power. Now, since it's a quarter, you can put 0.25, but you should get into the habit to put the fraction. And the way you do that is put 4 and then invert it into a fraction, into a decimal. And the reason why I'm doing that is what if I said a number that doesn't partition evenly, like 0.25? What if it was a third? Not every quarter, but every third of the year, then you wouldn't have a nice rounded number with decimals. So to learn how to do this, I'm going to show you to do 1.05 to the power 4 inverted equals, and that's the rate. Then you have to subtract the 1. That's the rate there. So it's not 5 divided by 4. It's that. It's 1.05 to the power of 1/4. So it's slightly different. It's smaller, but at the compounding effect will make it all come up to 5%. So what I'm going to do with that number is store that number in storage 1. I'm going to make a note on here that I put this in storage 1. And someone tell me the number, or I have to go back and get it. So it's 0.01227. I'll just put 5 numbers. And ... So I remember that I've stored it. Now you have the rate, you have the dollars that are paid quarterly. And the only other thing you have to change is what? What other variable do you have to change?
The period,
Yes. So we have to convert 30 years into how many quarters?
4 quarters.
So how many would it make? How many quarters in 30 years?
120.
Excellent. Okay, so first was for the payments. Then it was for the okay, so then the rate. Right. And then we did the N at the end. So I didn't do them in any particular order, but so now for N, 30 years must be converted to quarters. All right, so you have the values. You should be able to put those into your calculator to figure out the accumulated amount. So you want the future value after 30 years or 120 quarters. See if you can get it. I leave it to you. So next week, we're going to meet in the classroom. I will broadcast virtually, but anybody who wants to be presential can be there. I will not require it. It's an opportunity for some who want to meet in the classroom. And maybe, get comfortable, so you find your way, and it's not the day of the test that you're trying to find the classroom. It'll be a good dress rehearsal.
Professor, I got 120,880 with 48 cents.
Okay, I'm going to do it as well. So get the habit of putting things from left to right on your calculator. Remembering that you have to multiply this by 100 before you put it into I by Y on the calculator. Micrófono. It's 0 and when is 1,000. Okay, no, I get a different number. Try it again. Yeah, let me try again because maybe I had something. No, I get 270,000.
Oh, just a question, Professor. When we start the first sort of payment, for example, she has a $1,000 amount that she's going to add to that 30 years. Do we put that first 1,000 as PV or as payment?
Right. So, okay. So This is an annuity. So it's a payment.
Okay, so
Yes.
because I was just sort of in my mind, sort of putting,
That is a
And-
PV. Yeah, it's a payment that's going to recur. So this one is actually an annuity problem. So if you didn't review the annuity stuff, go back to the beginning and do that to remind yourself. But okay, so this is annuity problem. And what we're going to do is take the annuity, which is, the formula goes like this. You may have learned different formulas, and that's okay. If you want to continue using your original formulas, it's fine with me from whatever class. The professors all have their different formulas. Okay, so let me just write this out. So this is the basic formula that you learn initially. But we want the future value. We don't want the present value, right? So we need to take this and we need to take it to the end of the period. So this is actually going to give us the future value. So it's putting the annuity formula and the time value of money formula together.
I mean, in the calculator, what I'm doing is just putting N 120
Yeah.
interest. So recall, I put it in recall 1, so it's
Did you
0.0.
multiply by 100? You have to multiply by 100 because that might have been your mistake.
Yeah, that's
it.
Yeah.
So you have to multiply 100 before you put it in I by Y. I don't multiply it by 100 right away, but you can do that if that's what you prefer and put that in storage. But I multiply it by 100 before I put it in the interest and then keep going. So then PV
And
nothing,
then I
PV
put,
zero.
Yeah, PV 0 1,000 payment and then compute future value. So that's the difference.
Excellent. So you got it. So this is the future value formula that I don't put on the formula sheet, but you can put it on yours. You can add in that term. And now I'm going to put it all in I'm going to show you how I write it. So this is not going to get you any points, right, on your test. If you're trying to get part marks, you don't get part marks for this. If you don't get the right answer and then try and show me your work, I'm not going to give you points if you write the formula, but if you write the formula with the values inside, I will be more impressed. So FV 120 quarters, you could also put 30 years. I don't mind as long as you know what you're doing. So that's just, well, I'll write it in words. Quarters. And that's equal to 1,000 starting 1 quarter from now. So it does match with the annuity formula. The interest is, I'm just going to write this down so that whoever's reading it will go up here and see the number, because I'm not going to write the decimals. I'm going to write it like that. And then 1 minus 1 over 1 plus EPR 1 quarter to the power of 120. And then you have to put this extra time value of money adjustment because I don't want the present value. I want the future value of the annuity. So it's again, this number to the 120. And if you have a variation on that where this term is in here, it's fine with me. I think it's fine. My goal is to teach very few formulas and just combine the formulas to get what you want. I don't want to teach you 100 detailed formulas, just a few. So who gets the answer? How many of you are getting the answer?
I got 270,687.65 cents.
Excellent. Well, 66.
Yeah, rounded off 66.
Very good. Okay, so if you want the night before the exam, we can also get together if people want to do that. But you'll have to tell me in advance so I can book a space because I'm sure that room will be taken. So that can also be an option, but I don't want people waiting till the last night before the exam because it's a lot of stuff to review. Should we do the next one or should we go? Because I said we would stay till 11:30.
I have no problem with doing another one.
Let's just do the part B. Let's do part B. Okay, who still needs to get the answer or didn't get it? Daviana, did you get the answer? Well, that was an old question. Yeah. That you put there in the chat.
No, I didn't.
You're not getting it? Okay, did you take the video? Did you send me the video?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at what Daviana did while everybody is trying to solve this problem. Oh, you know what I'll put here are what you put on in the calculator. So let's do that before I look at that. So you're gonna enter from left to right. N is 120. And then recall 1 times 100 goes into the interest. And then 0 into PV. And 1,000 into payment. And because it's a investment or savings, I'll put a negative 1,000 into payment. And then compute FV. And this should be your answer. So notice I say step 1, but I don't say step 2 or anything here. Just step 1 is the most important. Identify the timing, convert everything. And then you can apply the formulas. That's step 2, basically. Okay, Daviana, you send it in WhatsApp?
Email.
Oh, email. Okay, you guys can send me. My phone is if you want to send stuff to me. And students don't spam me, so I don't mind sharing my number. It's just
0077.
yeah, does that look weird? 0077. I'll do it again. Okay, let me see my email. Anybody else get the answer? You can brag about it. Weird. Hey, Daviana, I just looked. It looks like you did it fine. But it must, so the P by Y. So when you hit the orange key and off, no, that's not gonna work. When you hit the orange key and payment, does it really say, it says 1?
Wait, when I hit the
Or
paper,
orange key and payment, what does it tell you?
I have an error TUVM.
Daviana, can you please just get that the TIVA2?
Yeah.
Just, you're making it so hard for yourself. I can't even figure it out.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this from?
Office mates.
Oh, you bought it.
Office depot.
Can you return it?
I don't think so.
When did you buy it?
3 years ago.
Oh, okay, a long time ago.
Yeah, but I'll buy the the other one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, it's just so weird. I mean, like I said, in 20 years I've been teaching, like 2 calculators were defective. It could be yours is the 3rd. The other thing is also, Daviana, you can get the app on your phone. Do you have an iPhone or Android?
I have an iPhone.
Okay, so I think it's $15 and you can use that one. And okay, so let's do part B and then we'll go. So you're not crazy, Daviana. I can't even figure it out. It's just so weird. Maybe you could watch a YouTube video. There's something we're missing before you go return it. Or I mean, sorry, before you spend any more money. After we finish the second part. Maybe you can watch a YouTube video about it, or I'll find one and send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, 31 years from now, Lydia will begin to make withdrawals from this account. She will make annual withdrawals for 20 years. What is the maximum amount she can withdraw each year? So what is the first thing I do for this problem? Step 1. What was the step 1 over here? Timing of payments. So what's the timing of payments? Step 1. I'll say the word frequency. To identify time. So what's the timing of payments? When are payments happening? But there's no payment. There's a payment. There's a payment as a withdrawal, right? And they're annual. So the payments are annual. So what are the rates that we have? We just have the effective annual rate of 5%. So this is the one we use because this is annual. So it's 30 years of deposits, 20 years of withdrawals for a total of 50 years. So don't get thrown off by that. And the interest rate is going to be fixed at 5% all those years, which is over, it simplifies things. So we already have our interest rate is going to be 5%. The payment, sorry, let me put in. We're going to use an I by Y of 5%. We're going to use a number of years of, well, it's going to be 20 years of withdrawals. And then the PV, what's the PV for this? How much is in the fund? How much can she withdraw? This amount here.
170.
We already figured that out, right? From the problem. And then the payments are what we want to figure out.
So future value must be 0.
Exactly. So that's what you're going to deal with the calculator, but what formula do I write down? I'm going to write the
So-
formula with the present value annuity and just leave payment. I can write payment or C1. That's all I have to do. So it's going to be like this. 270, 687, 66 equals my annuity, oops, amount of the payments with 5%. So if you guys didn't study annuities yet, you got to go back and study annuities and then come back to this video that I'll post in the platform. 1/1.05 till how many years? 20 years. And that's it. You don't have to write the algebra. I don't want to see step by step by step by step, because then I know that you're not using your calculator. So what you're going to put into the calculator is 20 for years, 5 for I, 270, 687, 66 for your lump sum amount, your pot, your fund. That's the present value. And then it's the payment that you don't know. And you're going to put 0 to override FB because you have to put something there as a place mark, but we don't need the FB.
Professor, I got 21,720 with 68 cents that can be withdrawn yearly.
Right. So 21,000, how much?
21,720 with 68 cents.
Okay, let's see. Let's see in the clave. Let's go back and see. In the So I have the clave here. You guys can see the clave. Yes, very good. Very good. So I'll project this. So these are the solutions that are also on the platform. And there's your answer. So I stored this value in storage too, in the solutions online. And then I recalled it to put it here. But it's fine. I mean, it's not an infinite decimal number. I can just put the number down on paper. Okay, so everything is there for you to work. Next week, we'll meet in the classroom at 9 a.m. If you do not want to come or you cannot make it, I will record the session. I will broadcast it so people can meet virtual as well. So work hard this week and weekend on what I posted, the new material. Well, it's not new material, but it's just interest rate conversions. So as I said, should all be review. If you didn't learn it before, then you have a chance to learn it now.
Professor, are there any exercises exercises that you could send us in the first and second unit?
These are all of them. There's already a lot there. They're all in the documents. They're all on the platform. Thanks. Yeah, it's lots and lots and lots. You're going to be busy. Try not to look at the solutions until you attempt all the problems, because it will not, there's no way you will appreciate it until you try the problems yourself. Okay. Thank you, Daviana.
Is there anything in Connect right now? Because when I entered, it said like there was space for stuff, but there isn't anything.
No, nothing in Connect, because some people still need to get the book, and I'm not going to work with Connect right now. Just work with all the materials I give you, and then after this test, I will put Connect stuff up, like problems, so you can review. But otherwise, you bought the textbook so you could get in. But feel, as I mentioned, use the textbook as a reference. You can read the chapters. I wrote a lot of chapters here, but really, that's just to have the background on stocks and bonds and initial public offers. And I don't know why I put chapters 2 and 3. I think it's just 1, 4, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to check. Why did I put 2 and 3? Let me see the syllabus. Why did I put 2 and 3? I'm going to do that after, I think. 2. Oh. Okay, I'm thinking of a different book. So yeah, it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, no, in the other book that I have, it's 2 is something else. Okay. And 15, what did I mention here? Corporate finance, how corporations. So it's just some background on stocks and bonds. I'm not going to test you on the textbook 14 and 15. I'm testing you on time value of money. I'm testing you on time value of money and quantitative finance, mathematical finance. And after this test, I can use Connect more, because some people are waiting for the physical book. Any other questions for me? You guys can ask me questions after this meeting too. Awanda, yes, you can use the old edition. It's fine. The thing is, if you to get into Connect on the platform, you'll have to buy to get into the digital exercises, you have to buy the digital copy. And yeah. The online, it's very important to have the book. You need to have a reference book. And the best thing is to buy a book. And if you have an old version of the book, that's just as good, really. I mean, it's nice to have the more up-to-date version, but I know they really overcharge for these textbooks. It's actually terrible. The calculator, Orlando, you can buy the calculator at Office Max. You can buy it on Amazon, or you can buy it on your smartphone. And if you buy it on your smartphone, you should make sure you get the BA2 plus. The BA2 plus app with a trademark symbol on it, because I'm just getting, this is the one you want, because yeah, you can use your phone during the test. You just can't cheat. If I find you cheating, you're in trouble. So yeah, you can use your smartphone. You can't talk to people. I'll be watching you. And you can't be chatting or anything like that. You can just use, you're gonna have to turn off the phone. You're just gonna use the calculator. It's the concession I'm making because some people, whatever, it's just cheapest. The cheapest version of that phone, of that calculator, is the app. So yeah. So in real life, if you go to the CFA exam, you obviously cannot take your phone in. You're going to have to purchase the BA2 Plus. It's exactly the same in the physical. It's not that different. It's not different. It's just not your phone.
Okay, so my last question is that unit 1 and unit 2 covers all the chapters that are mentioned above, like 14, 15, and 16, right?
Yeah, the 14, 15, 16, or whatever I said. Let me see what I said here. 14. I said 14, 15,
3,
16.
4.
Yeah. Those are just reference chapters. I'm not going to say, oh, what kind of bond was issued in 1845? I'm not going to do anything like that. So those are just a reference to understand stocks and bonds and issues, but I'm not going to get into the details of securitization or anything like that.
Oh, so the real questions are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes,
Like the,
yes,
okay.
yes,
Thank you.
chapters 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, those
And
are
it'll be
back.
the
The
same for
four-
old books, old versions. What did you say?
The 14, 15, and 16 are just background information we need to know.
Exactly, background information. Until I get the connect, until I start putting connect problems up, then you're gonna practice, those different chapters. Did I mention? Let me see. So yeah, just in the syllabus, you can see 14 and 15 is an overview of corporate financing, how corporations issue securities. So it just gives you a background, because I'm going to mention, I mentioned storylines that about how we perceive growth and how they corporate announcements affect pricing and valuation of stock. So that there's the background there for you. But really, your priority is to get through the materials that I give you. And then if you need to go into reference, you go to your textbook. If you don't have the textbook, it's okay for the first test. All right. But afterwards, it would be great if you had the textbook. I think the $50 digital textbook is the best compromise, that it's not a lot of money and you can get the full value of the course with the reference book. But at some point, if you really want to be in finance, you need a good finance textbook. And this is a good finance textbook. So if you're going to buy one, this one will last to doing an MBA or graduate work. It's a great reference text. I prefer it to the Ross book. That's why I use it. Okay, guys and gals, it's noon. I'm going to say goodbye, but you can text me, you can reach out, all right? And we'll see you next week in class or by distance.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Goodbye. Have a
Un
nice day.
placer.
Professor, can I talk with you a moment?
Yeah, let's see. Let's wait for people to go, and I'm going to turn off the recording.